Hello there, Alina Wilson here from Xactimate Mastery. I'm going to be talking all about user certification tonight. So if you are here, let me know in the chat if you can hear me. We always do a nice little sound test before we get started. Tonight I am standing at my standing desk, of course, but I'm also on a treadmill. So I'm not walking at the moment, but that's why I look a lot taller. I'm not this tall in real life. A lot taller than I usually do, but I got a really awesome treadmill for my office, so now I can walk and talk and teach, which is great. But I only got it about a day ago, so I'm not good at walking and talking yet, but maybe by next week I'll have the treadmill on and be able to walk and talk at you guys. So that's why I look so tall. I'm usually tall today. Anyways, today we're going to be talking about Xactimate User Certification. And first, I want to talk a little bit about why it's important to get certified. So 99% of adjusters are not certified to use Xactimate as users. So just like you go for a Microsoft certification, that's what Xactware has. They give you a rubber stamp that you know what you're doing, and will give you a certification, a certificate, and the designation with a certification number, which is great. And you actually get placed on their website. So I can go search anyone who's certified and see whoever's certified, your name would pop up. And that's how a lot of, a credibility can be attached to the certification, with, like, if we're dealing with an adjuster who says, Origin Starter is included in your line item for shingles, and you're going, I'm certified as a user of Xactimate. Look at the click for detail. It doesn't show it. Can you provide me in writing where it is included? I'm a certified user. And if that doesn't go, the discussion goes south, say, well, I really need to talk to an adjuster that is certified. So that's where your conversation can go if you're certified. And also, I love it when you can have that certification number in your company header. So certified user up there, company header. Hey, Matt, good to see you. We talked about this earlier. Hi, John. Nice to see you too. So when you have that certification, you put it in your company header, you put it in your opening statement, you can put it at the end of your email. So in your email signature, I also advocate you putting your certification number down there, whether you're an adjuster or a contractor. Getting certified is a great piece of credibility. Me and Matt were talking earlier about some independent adjusting firms that are actually requiring some of their adjusters to be certified, which I think is awesome. But as a contractor, if you're certified, your head's above the rest. You can also show the homeowner. They have a little icon that Xactware will give you that you can put, I don't have an example of it in my fingertips, but there's a little icon you can put in your email signature on your business card. It says Xactimate Certified User, this little shield icon thing. It looks really cool. So any questions you have about certification, that's what tonight is all about. If you're watching the replay, post your comments below. I will be addressing all questions that come through. So Jason says he's been using Xactimate for years. Can you skip straight to certification 3, or is 1 and 2 a prerequisite? So great question. Let me talk a little bit to that. There's 3 levels of certification as far as a user. So 1, 2, and 3. And then to go one step further would be the Xactimate trainer certification. So I don't recommend doing that unless you actually want to be an Xactimate trainer. I went through it about 4 years ago. I didn't re-up it because, I already had it. So I didn't. You have to go every 2 years. So whether you're 1, 2, or 3 or certified trainer level, you have to re-up your certification every 2 years. So it's easy. If you're 1, 2, or 3, it's $100 to take the test. You go into the exam. I'm going to show you exactly what it takes to pass the exam for level 1 here today. But if you want to skip to level 3, it's totally possible. And let's say, worst case scenario, I'm not saying this would happen to you, Jason. Let's say you fail. Just pay the $100 and take it again. You can take it as many times as you want. It's a 75% pass rate, and just try again, or maybe go down to level 2. But there is no prerequisite to answer your question. You can skip over 1 and 2 and go straight to 3. 3 is a beast. I will be honest with you. When we teach our certification level 3 classes, it's a 3-day class all day long here in Salt Lake City. When we haven't done one this year because of COVID, but when we teach those classes, like, we come out as a band of brothers. Like, we come out like, guys, I can't believe we did that. It's kind of an experience to go through level 3. So if you do go into it, Jason, let me know how your experience is, because it's an interesting test. Level 2, 1 and 2 aren't so bad. 3 is very interesting, but it is doable. And I do have the prep doc. So that's what we're sharing with you today. If you want to type in the comments down below, if you're here on Facebook, type prep, and we'll send you the level 1 certification prep doc. If you want any higher levels, go ahead and email me at alina@ XM, the letter 8, Mastery, XM8mastery.com. All right. Hey, good to see you, Desmond. Yep. Oh, awesome. So yeah, if you are new, I don't recommend certification. Don't jump into that quite yet. It is something that you want to have some experience in before you go into it. And actually, I would say a certification class wouldn't be good for a beginner either. So the certification test is written by Xactimate programmers who probably haven't, I mean, they're the nicest people in the world, don't get me wrong, but they probably haven't foot on a job site in their life. They are programmers and that's what they do, right? So they created this test, and correct me if I'm wrong, any of you certified trainers out there who watch this, you can probably tell me where it comes from. But what I understand is it comes from programmers. So they're going to tell you to do things that are counterintuitive to real life. Like they'll have you paint one wall with 2 coats, and then the wall right next door maybe paint only just put a sealer on it and not do a top coat. To me, that goes against my sensibilities of estimating, right? Because that's not what I would do in the field. But for the test, they want to test your knowledge and skills. Do you know where to go to add a certain line item to just one wall? Do you know where to go to turn O&P off on the roofing? When in reality, I'm like, well, O&P should be paid on the roofing. Why are we doing that? They're just testing your knowledge. So I'll be completely honest. When I first went into certification, I think it was my level 1, I got a 45% on the sketch and the practical lab because I thought with my estimator brain and not with my I'm in test mode brain. Okay. So if you want to take a beginner class, I of course offer some online classes that you could take even as an adjuster. I have a begin to master course, but you know, there's YouTube is great. There's lots of free information on YouTube. And yeah, if you want some more information from me, I gave out my email address, alina@xm8mastery.com. But you know, there's a lot of knowledge to be gained out on YouTube just to get you started. All right, let's see if we have any other questions. Yeah, so prep down below. Hi, Gavin, good to see you. If you comment prep down below, we will send you the document that I'm going to talk about right now. Let me make sure I got everything. Yeah, so certification, just keep the different hat on. I'm in test mode. Don't let the details, escape you. You need to pay attention to exactly what they tell you to do, or else you will be like me and fail the practical. But if you get a really good grade on the knowledge portion, which is what happened to me, it'll bring you up to that 75% pass rate and you'll be okay. All right. So even if you bomb like I did, you can still go back and take the, you've got the knowledge portion. And I'm going to go over what the test actually looks like. This prep doc is pretty intensive, and we'll show you not only what a typical or sample sketch looks like that you're going to have to create, an interior sketch and a roof sketch. It also will give you a sample of what the knowledge questions are. And you know what? The knowledge questions are multiple choice. Amazing. So if you bomb like me, knowledge is multiple choice and usually can figure those answers out pretty quickly. Yeah, so it's not logical estimating, it's just being tested. Great way of saying it, Desmond. Okay, let's go into the prep doc there. Hopefully you can see my screen. Now I have 2 different ones. I have one for version 28 and one for version X1. Let me close my door. My husband just got home, a little bit noisy. Yeah. Oh gosh. I'm still here, don't worry. Okay. Much better. Now, so I've got 2 versions. We've got version 28, we've got version X1 for the certification. And you will buy the test per the version that you have. So $100 to take the exam, and you will order either X1 certification level 1 or version 28 certification level 1. So the prep docs are almost exactly the same, except for some of the line items you're going to add are a little bit different, and then some of the sketch on the interior and the roof looks a little different. So I've got here the X1 version. Now, I don't care if it's X1 or version 28. Whatever you're using is a great version. I would say that most insurance companies are still on version 28, so I wouldn't upgrade yet until the majority of the major players move over. So, but if you're already in X1, that's fine. You just want to take the X1 version of the exam. But I'm going to start actually with the 28 version because most people still have 28. I think that's probably the majority of you guys out there. So I'm going to quickly go through this top part of the prep doc. You can receive this same prep doc by commenting prep down below. We'll send it to you through Messenger. If you're over on YouTube, comment prep and we'll send you a link to where you guys can grab it. So here we are. It just explains to you what the fundamental skills they are that are going to be testing. They'll tell you what level 2 and what level 3 is. You can read about that later. And that there's 2 portions of the exam. This looks like 3. But it's actually just 2 portions to the exam. First portion is the practical hands-on lab. You must create a sketch and add all the line items. And then they're going to ask you questions like how many square footage of drywall do you have in your kitchen? How many linear foot of baseboard in your bathroom? How many squares of shingle material? That'll be the first part of the exam. Second part is the knowledge exam, and it's multiple choice, true, false, and matching questions you'll see. And so there's a 2-parter. So the practical is you want to sketch, create, and then add all the line items. When you order the exam, you have, I think, a year to do that part. Don't take a year, guys. Set a goal for yourself and do it in a couple of weeks. Don't let a year lapse. But you have a good amount of time to create the sketch, add all the line items, double check yourself. But then when you go into the exam environment, you have only, I think it's 180 minutes, so 3 hours in the exam environment. So you do have a time constraint when you're answering the questions. There's 30 practical questions. How many square foot? How many drywall? How many linear foot of baseboard? 30 practical. There's 30 knowledge, I think. It might be down to 25, but I think it's 30, especially on 28. I think it's still 30. Multiple choice, knowledge type questions. So there's a balance there for you. And you have 3 hours to answer 60 questions, 30 practical, 30 knowledge. And they will average the 2 parts of the exam together, and you were aiming for a 75 percentile, I believe. I think it tells you in here. It's either 70 or 75. Yeah, so they set all this up in this prep doc. So I don't want to belabor the details, but passing grade is 70% right there. So there it is on the prep doc. So if you want this document, remember to comment prep down below for me. And I'm going to go into the kind of the specifics of what the sketch looks like. So you can read all this for yourself. Do pay attention to the details. Like I said, here are some of those details that you'll see that you must pay attention to what they're saying to set up as your defaults. Most of these defaults are already set in the program. Unless you as a user went and changed them some time ago, everything should probably be the same here. But when it tells you, like how it says all doors are default 2'6", 6'8", unless otherwise specified. So keep that top of mind. When you see a different size door, we need to pay attention to those details on the sketch. So that's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of stuff that I glossed over and totally failed on my first go around. So if you don't be like me, pay attention to the details, you will do just fine. So here's the sketch of the interior that is for you to pass level 1. I will tell you this prep doc is harder to sketch than the actual exam. So if you can do this, you're good. If you want a full walkthrough of how to sketch this, over on YouTube, I do a level 1 walkthrough where I think I sketch the whole floor plan from start to finish. So you might want to go view that and follow along with me if you're not very comfortable with interior sketch. The hardest part of the sketch is going, well, let me back up. You want to start the sketch in the kitchen and go clockwise. So you want to go kitchen, closet, pantry, hallway, bedroom, bathroom, closet, bedroom, living room. Then add the stairs. So go clockwise. And then notice this portion right here. This is a tricky part that whenever I teach the course in my classes, people get hung up. This 2'9" section is not part of the hallway. The hallway does not extend that full length. Notice there's a door there. So that's one thing that hangs people up. Bedroom 2 is actually an L-shaped room. Okay. Congrats, Jay. Your buddy just got level 3. Amazing. Yeah, so watch out for some of these tricky things. And then notice that the closets have part numbers. What is a part number? It's that parentheses and on the number 1, meaning that the closet area is actually part of the bedroom. And this closet area is part of bedroom 2. Okay, so those are the kind of tricky nuances that you need to know. Stairs are really easy. Use what's called a custom staircase. Don't use a staircase package. And then you're going to add a reference area down here. And they actually, if you scroll down, will give you the details of every single piece of the room. Pay attention to the details. So they say deduct this door opening, but they don't say to deduct this door. So don't deduct it. Okay, so you kind of have to use this weird exam environment. You have to switch your brain. Missing walls or missing flat arch, they default as being removed or deducted. They are already set to deduct yes. So if it doesn't tell you to do an extra action, don't just leave it at the deduct yes. Don't change it to deduct no. Leave it at its default. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about, okay? Yeah, so you can go straight to level 2 and pass the exam. If you want the higher level documents, again, email me at alina@xm8mastery.com and I will send you the level 2. Tonight we're just set up, or if you're watching this back, we're just set up to send you level 1. So if you need something different, just shoot me an email and I will get that to you. Now, don't put prep, please. Sorry, Joe. Just put prep. Thank you for being very polite, but my bot won't pick it up if it says please. So just put prep in the comment and we'll send that to you. And so you can see they are very detailed with the instructions that they give you. Yeah, it's really up to you if you want to take the X1 exam. They say they're phasing out version 28, but 85% of the insurance companies are still on 28. How are they going to phase it out? It's up to you. Take whatever version of the exam that you want, but 28 is going to be, I think they're going to, well, I better not say this in public. Never mind. I think that something else is going to happen. But version 28 is still very valid, and most insurance companies are using it. They're slowly going that way. And I will definitely release a video when I think it's time to upgrade, and you can upgrade it for free at any time. But if you want to take the X1 exam, that's fine. But you must have X1 to take the X1 exam. Do not try to use 28 for that. You won't do so well. Here is the roof that we have for the level 1. Really nice, pretty basic, easy roof. If you need help with roof sketch, I did a couple tutorials on this page over the past couple weeks on, actually I did an interior and roof sketch, and I did something similar to this. So just pay attention to the slope. Always look at all the dimensions around, double check them. And this goes for the interior scope as well, guys, or interior sketch. Once you've sketched it once, delete it off and resketch it again. Just trust me, it will help your brain to just start to think in exam mode, okay? I highly recommend that you do that. Yeah, and the X1 exam does have X1 specific questions. That's why I want you to take that. If you have that version, definitely take the same corresponding, because there are some tricky things that they ask you that you can only see if you're in X1, but it's not better, it's just different. Okay, now that we've built our sketches, we can go down to the practical lab and the scope. And this is where we have a year, right, to sketch the floor plan, the roof plan, and to add all of these line items. And I know it's tedious, but be sure to set up, just like I said, pay attention to the details. Go through and add all the line items, just at least once. I don't recommend you having to do this multiple times like I do with the sketch. Definitely go through and make sure you have each line item detailed. Okay, so I don't want to make you dizzy, but you've got all those rooms and then the roof. Then we're going to go into the exam environment, and it's going to say, what is the square footage? Like, what is the square footage of floor in the kitchen? So this is where, if you were in the actual exam, you would press start, and it would start that 3-hour timeline for you to fill out these questions. So they ask you all the questions, yada, yada, yada. Then we get into the knowledge portion. Like I said, multiple choice, beautiful thing, right? So what I do is I have Xactimate open, of course, but I go and it says, which of the following functions can you perform in user preferences? I'm going to go ahead and go to the user preferences tab of the control center. And I'm going to go ahead and try these and figure out what I can do in that preferences. Just use the program as an open book. It's amazing. It'll help you ace the knowledge portion. And again, the knowledge and the practical are average. So if you need to get to that 70 percentile, you didn't do so great on the knowledge, you did great in your practical, it'll pull you up, vice versa. So I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but they do give you the answers here so that you can see what you've missed or if you did anything incorrectly. And then it will give you the amounts as well. So all the answer keys at the end of this prep document, comment prep down below. If you want us to send you this through Messenger, if you're on YouTube, comment prep down below. We'll get you the link. And then there's the knowledge exam answer key. So wonderful document. This is Xactware's document. That's where this came from. And it's a beautiful thing. So yeah, it's mostly cosmetic when you get to X1, but there are some things that are available in 28 and vice versa aren't available in X1. So definitely take the version of the test according to the version of Xactimate that you have. All right, so let's go look at the X1 prep doc real quick. If you have any questions, be sure to ask them. I don't think I probably had too many as far as questions goes. That's just fine. So we're going to go into the level 1 again, prep doc for the X1 version. So I'm just going to scroll down to the sketch here, and you'll notice it's the same sketch as 28, just like the programs. Actually, this kind of mirrors the program. It's the same sketch as 28, same dimensions, except for they add these pop-outs and they took away the reference area. So those pop-outs, I don't talk about those on my, the certification YouTube video when I sketch this. So let me just go over those really quickly. They're actually quite simple to sketch. And of course, I don't have the original. I didn't pull that up. I'm in a different estimate tonight. But if you're going to be sketching those areas right here, okay, so that's what I'm talking about, these pop-outs. This one's a pop-out. This one's kind of an L-shaped room. I don't want you to get thrown by that. So we actually have, the room looks more like this. So this will be our bedroom 2. You get it. And the living room on the left-hand side. So the living room is going to become an L-shaped room. And to do that, we're going to use what's called the square break tool right there. We're going to break the wall, left click once to break the wall. And I don't really care where I drop that square break because I'm going to go ahead and pull out the handle and just create the look of the room. Okay, so I don't worry about the details. I try to just get that look created. They don't go refer to the document. Wrong one. There we go. It's 17'4" by 7 foot there. So I'm going to go ahead, and now that I have it created, I can click on the handle and just go ahead and quickly type in 17'4. And now we need 7 right here. Now it's not going to look the same because I didn't take the time to correctly adjust the living room proportions too when I added it. So please forgive me for that. I think it's like 15, but you get the idea. That's how you're going to create the look. That's all this is about, is what tools you're going to use. So the bedroom 2 is actually more tricky than the living room because the pop out is in the middle of the room. And that's why I wanted to go over this. All right. So if we go to the pop out or the sketch, I think this was 15. Pull this down a little, make it look a little bit more like this sketch. And so to perform that pop out, we want to use the square break tool again, but this time I'm going to left click, hold, and drag. So if I just left click once with the square break tool and pull this down, it's just another L-shaped room. That's not what our prep doc looks like. Our prep doc has wall material on either side and it's popping out in the middle. In my opinion, that's more of a level 2 skill, but that's okay. We can do it easily. We're gonna add the square break tool and left click, hold, and drag. See how now I have 3 handles instead of 2. So if I just click once, this is what it looks like. Just pull that down, right? But if I left click, hold, and drag with my square break tool, now I can pull down the pop out. All right, now we have that material on either side of the pop out. It's not just a dog leg or an L-shaped room. Okay. So that's probably one of the most challenging things that's different from the version 28 on the prep doc. The other thing that's really not fun, well, I mean, it's fun for me. I love sketching. But if we go down to the roof, this is what it's a little bit trickier on a level 1. Again, to me, this is more of a level 2 thought. But see how this is popped out here? Watch your rafter lengths. Watch your rafter lengths, because when you pull this pop out, it's going to extend your rafter lengths. And they'll want you to lock one of the rafter lengths. So spend some time on this roof, getting it dialed in. So see these locks here? They want you to lock the span over here. So pay attention to those type of details. Notice all the other locks are unlocked. But in order to create this look, and this it does happen on the exam, they do have these locks on the exam. They have this as part of it. You will have to lock your locks in order to get this look of the roof. Okay, so pay attention to that. It's something, again, that's just a square break. That's a pop out and not a, you know, it's not just clicking once. You've got to left click, hold, and drag with the square break tool. That will pull that pop out. And then make sure to lock the lock before you pull the pop out. I need to make a video on YouTube on this. I will someday. But it's quite an advanced skill. I'm surprised it's on the level 1 exam, but this is the X1. So the X1 is a little bit trickier, but nothing we can't handle. Just notice that you need to lock the lock first, then pull out the pop out over here. These pop outs, these extensions don't matter. Doesn't matter what, you know, it doesn't matter for lock-wise for these guys. I'd add them first, and then I'd mess around with this, lock the span, and then pull this guy out last. So that one would be the third one. All right, I think our bot is sending out the version 28. So again, if you need a different version, if you need X1, or if you're looking for, you know, a different level, please specify whether it's 28 or X1 that you need. However, the prep doc for level 3, all I have is 28, but it'll be suffice for you to practice for sure. So comment prep down below if you want us to send you that document, and then email me if you need a different version. No problem. We'll send over what you need. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So it's really, people get really intimidated by it. It's not an intimidation that you should feel. It's I need to practice for this environment. So give yourself that space and that time to practice. And then when you get the actual sketch and you pay the $100 for it, you have a whole year, which again, don't take a year. Do it in a month or a couple weeks, set a goal, but, you know, create the sketch, delete it off, and try it again. You have plenty of time to sketch the sketch, the floor plan, the roof plan, add the line items before you go into the testing environment. When you're in the testing environment, you do need to, you know, you've got the 3 hours, but it's really not that bad. Just set yourself up for success by studying, because it's not something, even, you know, like a guy who writes mitigation and restoration estimates all day long and is dealing with line items, the roof might trip you up. Or if you're a roofing exterior contractor, maybe you're not using Sketch every day. Set yourself up for success and definitely study, and you'll do great. All of this to say, shameless sales plug, we do have certification courses for you if you need some extra help. We actually are different than any other certification course out there because we have you open and take the exam while you're in our class. I don't know of anybody else that does that. So we proctor the exam with you, and it's a beautiful thing. And you can find more information on xactimatemastery.com. I'm also coming out with some new self-study certification courses that we're going to make available in the middle of October. So right now, oops, where did I go? Right now, you have to show up to an online Zoom class for 3 days. I'm going to have a self-study version coming out soon. That's right. But no, you can do it by yourself. It's totally doable. Some people just don't, you know, they have test anxiety and they like some help, and that's what we're here for. So appreciate you guys. Yeah, thanks. Take care. Thanks for everybody being here. Appreciate you. Yeah, email me with any other questions. Actually, if you want to comment your questions down below, it's great because everybody can see your question and then they learn too. So if you have a question about this, comment down below. But if you need a different version of the exam or another level, that's where you want to email me at alina@xactimatemastery.com. So look forward to seeing you guys again next week. I haven't prepared what I'm going to speak about, but I will be here at 6 p.m. Central next Tuesday talking about something in Xactimate. I will send out a notification if you're subscribed to our chat. We'll send you out a heads up before I go live, and feel free to tune in. Every Tuesday, 6 p.m. Central, I will be here talking about Xactimate. So have a great night, guys. Thank you. And we'll see you next week.